name's Jen, and I love camping, canoeing, hiking, all kinds of outdoor adventures. I've been doing it my whole life. I invite you to join me. Subscribe to my channel, follow along, see what fun we're going to have next, because you know what? There are so many adventures still to come.
I'm Jen, thanks for clicking on the video. It's October 7th and we are headed out on a 6-day, 5-night fall colors extravaganza backcountry canoe trip. We are starting at Big Hawk Lake in the beautiful Haliburton Highlands Water Trails, and we will be doing the Nunakani Loop. It's not a trip that would normally take 6 days, but we're going to take our time and do a lot of site exploring and woods exploring and just have generally a really good time. I'm a little concerned about water levels. When I come over here, you'll see things are down really, really, really low. You see that dock? That poor thing is sticking so far out of the water. So we're optimistic. You know, it's character building when you go through things like this. If it's a little bit of sucky muck or a little, maybe portages might be a little longer than anticipated, but it's going to be a good time. We're super excited to be here and we're ready to get going. You can probably hear the wind. That was a pretty crazy paddle. Quite a crazy paddle across Big Hawk Lake. I don't know if you can see the waves behind me. This is actually the calmest part, right at the portage. There were times, thankfully the wind was in our favor and it was pushing us, but we were surfing waves that were 1.5 to 2 feet tall. And you know, we were having a great time. It was hilarious. We did an 1.5 hour paddle in about 50 minutes. But we've paddled on Georgian Bay, and I think the waves we just dealt with were rival Georgian Bay waves for sure. That was crazy. But that was it. That was our big part for the day. Now we just have to do a portage into Clear Lake, and that's where we're staying tonight. The water level is so low. You can see here the portage sign is way up there, and I think like where this part here is where the water normally is. You can just tell by the different colors of the tops of the rocks. And this whole part, like where our boat is normally underwater. So getting out was interesting. But it's just been beautiful. The fall colors are amazing. Now we're on the side of the lake that is less deciduous trees, more conifers. You can see there's tamaracks. I hope you can see that. Tamaracks on the other side that are changing color. It's just stunning. Are you happy to be here? Holy moly! Oh no! Buddy, we have to do the portage. You ready to go? All business again. Hold on! So we've done our portage from Big Hawk into Clear Lake. It was practically a road. I probably could have driven my truck down that, to be honest. This put-in is really quite nice. It's like layers of flat rock. Although I imagine when the water level is where it's supposed to be, I'm guessing that little bridge probably is almost normally underwater. But thankfully, Clear Lake is smooth and glassy and considerably smaller than the last lake. So we don't have far to go, and we'll be at our campsite. So we went on a bit of an adventure in the woods to find firewood. The site we're staying on is really heavily used. So there's just nothing, and we're kind of on an island too. So we got to the mainland, and I found this skinnier trunk here. That one is standing deadwood. So I'm going to cut it down, and that'll be more than enough wood that what we need tonight. The top is perfect size. It's still very windy. I'm sorry if I'm shouting or if you can't hear me, but it is very windy still. So I'm going to take care of this tree, get it down, and we'll take it back to the site. That wasn't nearly as rotted as I thought it would be, so this is going to be fantastic firewood. We're going to be set. We're going to be leaving a lot for the next people. That's fantastic. Here's my standing deadwood. I've cut it at, we're going to take a little more than half of the skinnier end. I've delimbed most of it here. And yeah, we'll take it back to the site here shortly. That's good. It's probably a 60-foot tree. Yeah, this is going to be perfect firewood for tonight. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about our new saw that we got this year. I was really sad that our old one died. It's been on so many trips. It was a favorite of ours. But it wasn't a quick and easy setup and tear down. And when you're walking through the woods, you wouldn't make it safe, I guess. You would just carry it. And someday I'll tell you the story of how I bounced it off my kneecap, which was all kinds of fun. But this saw, I'm so happy because it's so easy to secure it for walking. Like, there's no parts that I'm going to accidentally lose out in the woods. I just do that, and now it's totally safe. I can just walk with this. I'm not afraid of accidentally cutting myself or the dog running into it. So, you know, in terms of, I mean, we love this saw. We're getting over the loss of our old one. But in terms of just safety walking in the woods, this design is pretty awesome. I'm really happy with this. Because, you know, I'm a bit of a klutz most of the time. So this is helpful for me. Everyone, the sun has gone down below the horizon. It's getting close to 6 p.m. and I thought I should kind of give you a little bit of a tour of our campsite. We are on site 35 on Clear Lake. As you can see, we have processed a pile of firewood, a ridiculous amount of firewood, but we had time and we wanted to do it, and we don't want to be cold tonight. This is, we're really surprised about the actual fire grill. We didn't think there would be one. This is fantastic. It's a little deep, so hubby suggested we put some really big logs in the bottom so we get the fire going to cook dinner. We don't have to build up as big of a fire. That was quite brilliant. I'm going to pan around here. We have some more big pieces of wood that we have not processed yet, but we'll save that for later. And we come around again. Somebody built a nice little bar height table here. I guess I'm on the fence when it's, you know, you think, is this trash or is this a treasure? I appreciate that a lot of time was put into it. Somebody clearly felt it was handy, maybe if they had a cook stove to go on there. We have no use for it, except we have the dog leash tied to it. Yeah, I don't know. We'll leave it. We're not going to mess around with it. We've got the tent set up over here. If I walk down, and what you've probably noticed is this campsite is barren. I think I mentioned earlier we had to go on quite the wood walk to find wood. Like, even when you look at the trees, there's no low-hanging branches. It's really sparse. So I think we're good. We've got plenty of wood to get us through dinner tonight and evening and breakfast tomorrow morning. But this is just beautiful. The wind is whipping up every now and then, but significantly calmer than before. So hopefully it dies down. Oh, I should show you this. This is beautiful. This is kind of our long, skinny peninsula. And technically we are on an island, except that the water is so low, there's a bit of a land bridge. But yeah, check this out. This is beautiful. Another tent pad here. Out on this point. In the summertime it'd be great because the breeze will keep the bugs off. You got a nice landing spot there. Come around. Here's the canoe. I'm guessing this bush with the red leaves is probably where the water level normally comes to. It is so low right now. But we end up with a nice little clay beach. And there you go. You can see the sun setting. It's getting darker. It's going to be a beautiful evening. So for dinner tonight, we're doing what has quickly become our favorite first night meal. We're going to grill some steaks on the fire. We're going to do some grilled asparagus and instant mashed potatoes, the roasted garlic flavor. It's super filling, so yummy, wonderfulness, and it's easy to make. The whole thing probably takes 25 minutes total to cook. And yeah, that's what we got, and I'm super excited because we're ready to eat. Alright, now I think you can actually see what I'm doing. Steaks are coming along. I've got the water on here for the instant potatoes. I think actually I'm going to move the steaks to the other side where it's not as hot. There we go. Asparagus still needs a wee bit of time. Alright, it's coming along. Oh, they smell so garlicky. Gonna add a splash of olive oil. Lovely. We're gonna dish up, I think. So I'm trying to light with my headlight here. Here's dinner. We got mashed potatoes, garlic mashed potatoes, grilled asparagus, and steak. Looks fantastic. It's a little after 7. We're about 10 or 15 minutes away from full-on dark. So I probably won't film much more tonight. We're going to eat this. If anything interesting happens, I'll let you know. But otherwise, it's been a fantastic first day for the autumn color, fall color, spectacular backcountry trip. We are so happy. The wind has died down finally, and it's kind of like a normal night, and we're going to enjoy our fire and have a relaxing evening. And I'll see you in the morning. The wind died down about an hour ago. It's not late, but we got a roaring fire. We're relaxed, we're warm. And it's just a good night to be out camping. Hey everyone, it's quite late. It's almost midnight actually. We had a roaring fire and just enjoyed it out there for quite a while. A couple of things I wanted to mention when you're doing the shoulder season camping is it's going to go down to probably 4 degrees, maybe feels like 2 degrees Celsius tonight. So this is the filter from our gravity feed water filter. We've brought it into the tent. It's in a Ziploc bag, and it's going to go into my clothing pack for the night so it doesn't freeze. And then this little case here holds our electronics, basically. My camera will go in there, the batteries, our phones, our charger units, and that case will go in the bottom of my sleeping bag. The cold weather will drain your batteries, so at night, in the fall or early spring, it's a good idea to take those kinds of precautions just to make sure that your equipment that's not supposed to freeze, doesn't freeze, and stays usable for you for the rest of your trip. So good night, everybody, and we'll see you in the morning. The sun is burning the fog off the lake, and Clear Lake is definitely living up to its name. This water is like crystal clear, almost turquoise. So we're just cleaning up from breakfast, and I thought I'd just kind of show you our route that we did yesterday. So we started down here at the Big Hawk Lake Marina, and we paddled up here, and I'm hoping my video that I took shows this, but this whole section here was mixed forest with lots of deciduous trees that are in peak fall colors, absolutely stunning. So then we made a hard right, and this long stretch here is where the wind was at our back and the waves were like 1.5 to 2 feet, and I didn't take any film because it was insane. It was just all steering and trying to ride the waves. Pretty cool. But around the middle of the lake, I realized the forest changed considerably to what we're in right now, which is mostly pine and hemlock and cedar. So we did that little portage here that was like a roadway. It was beautiful. And we're camped right here on campsite 35 on Clear Lake. So today is not a far travel day at all. We're going to paddle across Clear Lake, do a little 200-meter portage onto Red Pine, and then we're staying up here on campsite 31. And we love our western views, so we're hoping for some great sunset shots there. Like I said, it's a super short travel, and then we're going to be 2 nights on that site. So we're excited to explore Red Pine Lake and see what it's all about. I am still in awe of how clear this water is. I hope the camera's picking it up, but all the way across this bay, I can see the bottom of the lake. It's incredible. It's like being somewhere tropical with turquoise waters. So cool. Well, we're leaving our site on Clear Lake. It's a shame. It's a beautiful campsite, but we got places to be. I'll angle down and see what I mean about how clear this water is. We're in like 10 feet of water and you can see straight down. It's just crazy. So these cliffs were the view from our Thunderbox. Not too shabby. Wow, we are getting spoiled on this trip. Look at this beautiful sandy beach put in for our next portage. Gotta say goodbye to Clear Lake, bud. We're going to Big Red Pine. So I missed all these beautiful cliffs with the canoe on my head. It's like a fairyland in here. Come on, bring it, come on. Bring it over here. Come on. Shucksy. You gotta bring the firewood to the wood pile. You weirdo. Yeah, so hubby got it on the first try. These crazy mushrooms. So that's the way back to our site. We're out exploring the woods looking for wood. We've climbed up next to this big rock face. And then even farther up is another one. This is crazy in here. We're out for an early evening paddle to collect some firewood, and this is what the lake has been like all day. Just glass. It's just stunning. Well, I feel this was a successful wood raid. Definitely got plenty for tonight and for tomorrow. Keep us warm. This is great. So I'm processing my firewood, and see, I've got a few different piles going here. I've got my really fine fuel over here for getting this fire going, and I've got my medium fuel. Then I've got my pile that's stuff that had to be sawed, basically sawn. We basically start with a big messy pile, and then I just process it down as the day goes on. I find this way, you know, this size wood here is the stuff that's great for cooking, controlling your heat, getting your fire going. So I do have to say I'm a little strict in the evening when, you know, the fire's raging. I'm not really a fan of burning this stuff. I'm like, put the big stuff on then, because I'm going to need this stuff in the morning to get breakfast going. Well, friends, I don't think I gave you the good tour of our new campsite yet. We are on campsite 35 on Big Red Pine Lake, and we've got our tent here, and behind it is a long skinny peninsula that gets lots of sun. That's where we hung out most of the afternoon, and it's pretty open. Somebody left some cheap yellow rope that set up as a clothesline there. You see the gear dump, the fire pit area, super open, lots of room for tents, and then we have our bare rope hanging from that big white pine tree and our wood pile over here. So yeah, it's a long skinny peninsula shaped campsite. We really like it, and very open too, which is great with the dog because he can just wander around.
Lots of rain.
And we just got the fire going, and it's about time to cook dinner. Tonight's dinner is a bit of an experiment. It's a new cook over the fire meal for me, and I wanted to experiment with butter chicken. So I have a big pouch of butter chicken sauce. I have dehydrated canned chicken, and then in here I have a cup of whole grain minute rice, a couple tablespoons of dehydrated coconut milk, and then dehydrated mushrooms and zucchini slices and green pepper all broken up. We'll see how it works out here. Yeah, I probably should have packaged these veggies up separate. Lesson learned. I'm adding basically just enough water to barely cover. We'll put that on the fire. Our poor grill is on a horrible lean. I don't know what people did to this fire pit, but she's sad. Wow, this sunset just keeps getting better and better. I think I just disturbed a bunch of ducks. Whew, sparks everywhere. Alright, so I've brought some water to a boil. The chicken and the veggies are really soft. I'm going to add the instant rice and the coconut powder milk. Whew. Like I said, this is a bit of an experiment, so I'm going to simmer this uncovered for a couple minutes. See if I need to add more water, because I think the coconut powder will thicken it a bit. Then I'll add the sauce. Alright, so I think I might have added a touch too much water, but I'm going to add the butter chicken sauce and just let this cruise and simmer and hope that it thickens up and it's not too soupy. Ooh, that's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing, I think. Give this guy a stir. Alright, this is looking about done. It's thickened up. I'm going to take it off the heat, I think, put the lid on it for 5 minutes or so, and we're going to eat and get a nice big fire going. See me? Oh, there we are. Okay, so we're just finishing up eating dinner here, and something I didn't show you was after a couple bites, I ended up adding just a pinch of salt and also added a splash of olive oil, which when stirred up gave it a really creamy consistency. This is a fantastic dinner, a good experiment, a win-win. I think the only thing I do differently is maybe a little bit more rice, and either or bring naan bread or make garlic bannock bread to go with it to dip it in, because it's that sauce is just so yummy. So we're going to eat up our last few bites of dinner, enjoy our lovely fire. I'll pan around, you can see it's going beautifully over here, and enjoy our evening. I will be in touch if anything interesting happens to share with you.